Good morning, water protectors. It is January 3rd. This will be one of my last videos for a little while as I'm getting ready for ceremony. And I just wanted to speak to you a little bit more about what I've been going through personally leaving camp, because I know that a lot of people who have recently left camp, or maybe a while ago, are just struggling with reintegration into society and regular life, whatever that might look like for you. So I'll just share my truth and hope that it might reflect some of your own, and I'd love to hear from you as well. And I really encourage other water protectors to write and make videos about their experiences at camp and their time leaving, so that we can continue to share this collective narrative. Because one of the most important things about camp was that we were together. So we don't need to go through this alone. We have a community still through this virtual reality that is available to us, and we can continue to support one another even if we are all over the world. So let's be really grateful for this opportunity and take advantage of it to continue feeling that connection that meant so much to us when we were at camp. So I definitely feel kind of this empty space inside where the intensity of Standing Rock really held a space. You know, I was thinking about it, and I mean, it's nice to sleep and be inside and not have constant demands on my time. And at the same time, it's very disorienting. You know, it felt good to be so focused and not be distracted by basically the rest of the world. Like, I mean, I remember when the election happened and it was sort of like, okay, carry on. And it didn't really affect us that much because we just had to keep going day by day. We had to get stuff done. We had to keep people safe. And so I think out in the world, when I'm more on my own path, it is a little more challenging to feel that connection to the higher purpose, to feel useful, to feel like the skills that I have to are available and known about and being utilized in a good way, because I'm here to help people. And so it's hard to just be walking around the world and not be able just to have sort of the permission to go up to anyone and just check in, hey, how are you doing? And really get a real answer. You know, I appreciate that at camp. Like, there were people, I walked by a trailer one day and there was an older woman in there just crying. And so I knocked on the door and said, how can I help you? And she welcomed me inside, and that was totally normal in a city that might not have happened that way. So I do encourage all of us to take that upon ourselves, to bring that kindness, bring that checking in with strangers or our acquaintances. And really, instead of that cursory, how are you, fine, dig in a little more. Say, really, like, how are you? What's going on? I want to know. I want to hold that space, because that's how we create that connection. You know, a lot of doing therapy is listening, is giving your true presence, helping that person understand that you really actually care, and giving them the time and space to share and open up and just hold their truth and their feelings and see them in their vulnerability without judgment, and helping them feel safe. And that's something that you don't need to have a degree in. You know, of course, be mindful about what you bring up and everything. There are definitely reasons to go to a professional, but you know, we can create that experience of holding space for one another, which is what makes us feel so connected. One thing that I've witnessed before in my travels around the world and regular life, but really is coming clear to me post Standing Rock as well, is just how many people are really kind of floating around on their own. You know, we have this narrative of that you should have a family that takes care of you and you can have a home to go to, but the reality is that that's just not the case for a lot of people. And a lot of people are just making it on their own, making their own way in the world, and don't have a home community, don't have a family to go share a meal with. And so I think that Standing Rock has become that for a lot of people. And Standing Rock community and movement has provided a place for people to feel cared about and taken care of, to feel like they matter, to feel like they belong. And that's something that humans really crave. And there's this suffering around the world, and especially in the society in the US that we've created, that's very lonely. And I've witnessed it a lot working in outpatient mental health centers and just being privy to a lot of people's internal stories. And there's a sense of loneliness. And this virtual connection that we have sometimes exacerbates it rather than attends to that wound, because it can provide this very cursory, superficial appearance of connection through a post that doesn't actually reflect the truth of what someone's going through, and kind of makes people feel more isolated and more disconnected and more different, because someone described it once as Facebook shows everyone's highlights and you know your own behind the scenes. And so I really encourage us to try to create that sense of connection for one another. Try to create community where you are. It's amazing what hosting a potluck dinner can do. Can bring people together, friends of friends that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Host an event in solidarity of Standing Rock that has brought together so many people who live in the same area who might never have met before. Standing Rock has created romance for people who share a lot of the same values. Standing Rock has brought out reflections and friendships of people who did know each other that now feel more connected because they share this passion for Standing Rock. And the opposite. I know some water protectors that are struggling with people in their home communities really not aligning with the movement of Standing Rock and giving them negativity and criticism for being out there. And so that can also kind of make more distance between people, but then connect them stronger with people that do share the same values. So that's my message for you today. Just try to practice that connection and create that community that Standing Rock has been, and share that compassion and that presence for one another that meant so much to us there living at camp. Thank you.